Alright guys, welcome to my video on how to graph a piecewise defined function. So, kind of a rare sight that you see me already drawn, already written on the tablet, the white space. But I did because, I can't graph too good and I didn't want to waste time with the setup. So we have this piecewise defined function as the following. G of x is equal to 3x for all x values that are less than -1, x squared for x values that are between -1 and +1, including the value of -1, and 4x minus 1 for all x values that are greater than or equal to +1. And if you see here, I created 3 different charts for the 3 different functions. Now, I am going to first graph the first one. F of x, or g of x equals to 3x for all x values that are less than -1. And I'm going to pick 3 values. So values that are less than -1 is going to be -3 and -2. And although I know -1 can't be less than -1, but I'm also going to include that as well, which is -1. Okay. Let's make some more room. Put it down here. All right. So if x is -3, what is going to be y? So 3 times -3 is -9. Y is -9. So when x is -3, y is -9. Let's graph that. That's right here. Now x is -2. What is y? So 3 times -2 is -6. So when x is -2, y is -6. So we're going to graph that. -2 and 6. Now, although we know -1 cannot be less than -1, we're going to do it anyway by plugging in -1 into this function. So 3 times -1 is equal to -3. But because we know -1 cannot be less than -1, this is going to be an open circle. So we're going to put an open circle at -1, -3. And then now we can connect the coordinates. And because x is less than -1, it's going to go down forever and ever and ever. Let's do this one more time, make it more straighter. Okay. Now, the next one is going to be g of x equals to x squared minus 1 for x values that are between -1 and +1, including the value of -1. So I'm going to start at -1. I'm going to put a 0 here. And I'm going to end off at +1. But we know if I insert +1 into here, +1 cannot be less than +1. So this value here will also be an open circle. So we're going to plug that in. If x is -1, -1 squared is going to come out as +1. So it's going to be the coordinate of x is -1, y is +1, which is going to be right here. Then we're going to plug in 0. 0 squared is 0. Coordinate of 0, 0, which is going to be at the origin. And then the next one is going to be 1. So plug in 1 here. 1 squared is 1. And remember, this is a squared function, so it makes a parabola shape, a U shape. But remember, because 1 cannot be less than 1, it's going to be an open circle, which I made a mistake and didn't put, but I put it there now. Now, I also want to point out is, if you're graphing, right, and 2 points intersect with each other, then if one of those have an open circle and it will have a closed circle, the circle becomes closed. I'm going to give you an example of that after I do this problem. So let's pick 3 values. We could pick 1, 2, and 3. And this is all values that are greater than or equal to positive 1. So 4 times 1 minus 1, excuse me. And that equals 3. Because 4 times 1 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. So at 1, we have 3. We plug in 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So it's going to be the point of 2, 7. Then we have 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11, which is a little bit above 10. And then, once again, we can connect that as well. And that is how I graph my piecewise defined function. That's how I do it. And that's how you should do it as well, too. And that is the answer. So, I'm going to go back to what I was saying before. Suppose if we had this as a piecewise function, I'm going to do a quick graph. Let's say h of x equals to, let's do x squared plus 4 if, let me see, x is less than 0, and it's going to be x, or let's see, 4 minus x if x is greater than or equal to 0. Let's say that's the piecewise function right there, right? I'm going to do a quick graph, a quick sketch. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Now, I have 2 functions. I have x squared plus 4, and I have x is less than 0. So I make that x and y. The other one I have 4 minus x, and that's for x is greater than or equal to 0. Let's pick 2 values. Less than 0 is going to be -1. Then I'm going to have a value of 0. And the 0 is going to be an open circle because 0 can't be less than 0. If x is -1, right? -1 squared is 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Give me the coordinate of -1, 5, which is going to be right here. Then the point of 0, when I plug 0 into the function, I get 4. But it's going to be an open circle. And that's going to be right here, open. Remember, this is a parabola. So I'm going to go up like this forever on that side. Now, picking up with the next function, I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to pick another point of 1. If I plug 0 into this function, because x has to be greater than or equal to 0, if I plug 0 in, I get 4, which is the point of 0, 4. That will be a closed circle because of the equal to sign under it. So that means I will close the circle. So an open circle can be closed. Once it's closed, it is closed for the remainder of the graph. If I plug 1 to that, it's going to give me 3. So 1, 3. And if you notice, this function will be a continuous function. Looks something like this. I try to draw it the best way I can. So, yes, you can close an open circle. Once it is closed, it remains closed. Keep that in mind. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.